Hi, my name is Sanna Magdalena Mörtudóttir and I'm in the first seat at the Socialist Party in Reykjavík.
Why should we urge our parents to vote for your party?
The Socialist Party aims to bring power back to the people, and for too long, all of the decision-making power has resided in the hands of the wealthy, who make decisions based on their own special interests, and Iceland is changing rapidly, and the power and wealth has been collecting in very few hands, hands which want to keep the lower classes and especially foreigners out of the decision-making process. So our goal is to bring the power directly back to the people. So we want people with low income, pensioners, immigrants, those with disabilities, the impoverished and young people to become directly involved in control of the city. And we want people to have their say in matters that affect them directly, whether that be having more power over the workplace or the children's school education and after-school activities or their own neighborhood. And it's also indefensible that people are living on wages that don't last a month for necessities, and that families cannot find safe, affordable housing. So our primary goals are decent living conditions for all citizens, and we also want to shorten the work week to improve the quality of life for people and to facilitate their active participation in shaping the society. And this especially benefits parents, who can then spend more quality time with their children.
What is your plan to improve child welfare?
Children, they are one of the most vulnerable groups in society, and no child should have to face insecure situations. Some children are under a lot of stress today because their parent or parents need to work 2 or even 3 jobs to have enough money, and they don't get a lot of quality time with their parents. We want to change this by shortening the work week, as that will benefit parents and children. As we know, the renting market is very difficult, and the Socialist Party focuses on housing for all, and no one, and especially children, should have to live in unsafe or health-contaminating housing. So we think the city itself should establish a built-in association to build apartments for people and families who are in the most need. And therefore we can work to exclude companies from the renting market that focus on profiting from renters, and parents won't have to pay so much rent. And we also believe that all children should have the same educational opportunities and benefits regardless of their financial situation or national origin of the parents. And we want to guarantee access to free education on all levels. And there is a shortage of staff in preschools and elementary schools, causing stress for staff and putting a negative effect on the children. And the salaries of those working in schools need to be sufficient, so there isn't a shortage of teachers in schools.
Children with another mother tongue have difficulties achieving good academic levels because of language difficulties and lack of support within the educational system. What is your plan to support them and their schools?
So research has shown that bilingual and multilingual children, they benefit from knowing more than one language, and we need to make sure that schools have enough funds to hire second language teachers, so that children with another mother tongue can keep learning their language as well as they learn Icelandic. And we need to meet the children where they are and work on their pace. And the educational system needs more funding to make sure that there are enough teachers, staff, and teaching materials to cater to the different needs of children with a foreign background. And it's also very important to establish a multicultural policy that is implemented in all schools so that all children feel welcome in their own school. And there needs to be a good communication between parents and teachers, and the teachers in school needs to be aware of the different cultural backgrounds that children have so that they can better understand their origin and needs.
Many of us as teenagers live with their brothers and sisters within common and small rooms. Our parents cannot afford to pay the high prices charged on the rental market today. What is your plan to provide housing, and what is your vision to reduce the high rents?
So we need housing for all, and our plan is that the city should itself establish a building association to build apartments for people and families who are in the most need. And this establishes a renting association that isn't profit driven, as the city itself would take care of building the flats and renting them at a fair price. And the city also needs to facilitate housing cooperations under the auspices of other associations like the labor movement and student housing. And we also need to put a cap on renting price and ensure the rights of renters. And our policy states that we wish to ensure there's enough social housing for those in need, and we need to ensure the rights of renters with long-time renting leases.
As young people, we cannot afford to rent even a small flat, and at the same time, we have to work to cover our education and living expenses. So many students in this situation have to give up their studies because of difficulties making ends meet and finding time to study. What is your vision to solve our problem?
So our policy is to guarantee access to free education at all levels. Everyone should be able to study regardless of their economical situation or background, and everyone should have enough income to cover the basic needs, whether they are students, unemployed, working, or homemakers. And we want to increase taxes on businesses and the rich so that they pay their share to the community.
What is your plan to secure equality between Icelanders and foreigners, for instance, to equal pay and equal opportunities?
So the Socialist Party is the party of those facing exclusion in the community, and our goal is a society of freedom, equality, humanity, and compassion. So we place strong emphasis on the experiences of those who suffer shortage in any sense, invisibility, and face that their voice isn't heard. So it's important that the voices of those who have been excluded from the discussion are brought to the table where decisions are made. And we have zero tolerance for inequality and discrimination, and have from the beginning of our establishment worked hard with the labor movement so that every worker's right can be secured. But unfortunately, it's a known fact that employers often discard the rights of foreigners living here, and that needs to be closely monitored on the working market to make sure that equality between Icelanders and foreigners is established. So one factor there is putting an end to outsourcing. All city employees should work directly for the city and not for an employment agency or subcontractor or in any other way that decreases benefits.
Many foreign families find it difficult to understand the rules of society, their rights and responsibilities, and many of them have difficulties with integrating into society. Many feel isolated and left out. What is your plan to improve their living conditions and integration into society?
So it is important that the society caters to everyone living here, and we need to make sure that information is accessible to everyone on all platforms in different languages. And as a multicultural society, we need to ensure that all voices are heard and that no one faces exclusion or discrimination. And as a society, we all need to work together to put an end to racism and xenophobia and help those with a foreign background to integrate by making it easier for them. For example, offering Icelandic courses for those who wish to seek them, and making sure they are affordable or free, and at times when people can make it.
What is your plan to improve healthcare and welfare of our grandparents and the elderly people?
So decent living conditions need to be ensured for everyone living here, whether they are wage earners, unemployed, pensioners, students, or homemakers. So we want everyone to have access to a free healthcare system and to a free welfare system that meets everyone's different needs. And our slogan is "Power to the People," which means in this case elderly people should have a saying in matters that affect them, and we need to bring their voices to the decision-making table, because they are the ones who know best what needs to be fixed regarding their situations.